Hey, what's happening Wednesday? This is Dev from Tiny Enormous. You just heard a sneak preview of one of the new songs that's going to be on our new album, and it's going to be just that. It's going to be an album, a 12-inch vinyl. So that's about what I'm going to be talking today, is preparing to release a 12-inch vinyl in 2024. If you're like me, you've been recording digitally for, a quarter century, something like that, and it's a lot easier to get your stuff mixed and mastered digitally and put out on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that. It takes a little bit less planning than doing something like a 12-inch vinyl. So a couple things about which I want to talk. The first is going to be mastering. That could be a little bit different depending on your style of music. So I don't do electronic music that has a lot of heavy bass or anything like that. But if you do, the guidelines for whomever is pressing your music might be a little bit different. So I recommend doing what we're doing, having your mastering engineer have a direct line of communication with the folks who are pressing your vinyl. I want to give a quick shout out to Tommy Audio at Forget Studios for helping out with that. He does all my mastering. He does a great job, and I'm sure he's going to knock this one out of the park, but that's been really helpful getting a direct connection there going. Second one's going to be the art, and I think people maybe don't think about that quite as much, but this isn't going to be something that people look at on Spotify on a small screen on their phones. This is going to be a foot by 1 foot piece of art that's going to physically be in their living space, potentially for years and years and years. So that takes a good amount of time, but it also is going to take a much higher resolution set of photographs or something like that you're going to use. So get templates if you can. Make sure that your artist or you is working in a Photoshop file or something that has the correct size and DPIs on it. The other thing is the back of the album is a whole other giant piece of art you have to set up, and it's probably where you're going to want to put your credits and stuff like that. So it was important for me to make sure that everyone is properly accredited for what instruments they played on which tracks, who mixed and engineered different tracks and stuff like that, and how they would like to be credited too. Like if they have a stage name, first name, stage name in quotes, last name, or just stage name, or stuff like that. So plan for taking that time to make sure that that is correct. Don't assume that you know exactly how someone wants to be credited. In fact, I sent those out for a while, and a couple of the ones I got back, I was like, oh yeah, just like that. And then a day later, like, actually, I think I would rather be credited like this, or this would look better, or something like that. So plan for a little bit of time for that. That was a little bit interesting. The format itself obviously gives you some guidelines or some restrictions that you're going to have to adhere to. First is the length of each side. The standard seems to be about 22 minutes per side. Some folks, as I was looking at who could press the vinyl for us at a short run like we're looking at, I'm just going to get 200 made. Some of them said 19 minutes per side. Some said as high up as 24. We're going with a place that says 22 minutes per side. Not that big of a deal for what it is that we do, but there was one instance where I was taking all the demos for the songs for each side, putting them in VLC and just seeing how long the playlist was, and one of them was like 24 and a half minutes. I had to go back and kind of restructure a bit of one of the songs to cut out some of that time, and it ended up being a really good creative tool, quite honestly. I'm happier with the way the song is structured now, but I'm way happier that I found that out earlier rather than later. The other thing is you can have some fun with it. Like, I'm kind of a formalist. I want to use the form to be what it can. And I remembered an interview that I believe was with Butch Vig about what Kurt wanted to do with Nevermind, because records as Nevermind was coming out were still a very viable release platform, and he wanted an acoustic song to end each side, which is why we have Polly half the way through the album, and the album ends with Something in the Way. So I wanted to do something similar. So each song, or each side, ends with a really kind of quieter duet. So side one ends with keyboard and electric guitar duet, and side two ends with an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar duet. Really kind of put each side to bed. Just a few things to think about. I probably missed a bunch of stuff, and I'm probably going to learn more about this as we're going through. The album's not coming out until March, so I might do a follow-up on this later. If you've done this and there's something that I'm missing, every project, the first time you do it, has what I call dark corners. You don't know what's in that corner yet until you get into the room, and you actually go in there and you get stung by that scorpion or whatever's in that corner. So if you can save some of us some of that hassle, feel free to put a comment down below. Let us know what we're missing, and we'll play you out with a little bit more of one of the songs that's going to be on the next album. Hope you like and subscribe, learned something, had some fun. See you soon. Cheers.